Oh yes, do you hear it? Do you see it? We are less than a month away from the biggest fireworks show in the Southeast. I'm talking about Look Up Atlanta, where we're going to be lighting up the sky for families and friends over Centennial Olympic Park. Now, for the next 4 weeks, we're celebrating Atlanta ahead of the big show with the 5 aspirations of Look Up Atlanta. And those 5 A's are appetite, which we talked about last week, art, athletics, attractions, and accommodations. And accommodations is actually what we're focusing on this week. Joining us in studio is Mike Jordan. He's editor-in-chief at Butter.ATL, also a contributor for the Wall Street Journal and The Guardian. It's good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Brooks.
Yeah, so we have to talk about this because Atlanta is full of a lot of charming, stylish, and these vibrant hotels. What are the top 3 that come to mind when we're talking about Atlanta?
Well, you always have to separate Atlanta by neighborhood and where you're actually looking to stay. So I like to start off with the Candler.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like the Candler is because it's downtown. Downtown's changing very rapidly, and we're seeing all this history come back. So you got the founder of Coca-Cola's, his old building, marble everywhere. You always feel like a little bit more of a baller when you have marble floors and columns everywhere. But then they also have a great restaurant by George, and they also just have a great view of downtown and very high luxury when you're there. I love the Candler very much.
And what's interesting, the Candler was actually Atlanta's first steel skyscraper. So
Yeah.
that's I mean, pretty historic, and a lot of people know it for that. So let's go over to the Buckhead area where there's a landmark hotel there, right?
That's right, the Kempton Sylvan. And Kempton always has pretty great hotels if you go in and out of town. But I love the Sylvan because the Sylvan has this mid-century modern style about it. And, you know, that's always been a thing. But this 1950s condo that was renovated turned into the hotel. Beautiful rooftop bar called St. Julep, and also just has the vibe of old Buckhead. And, you know, Buckhead money isn't always visible. So I like that when you're over there, it's kind of tucked off into that whole East Shadow Lawn kind of area. So you feel like a little bit fancy, but you don't need everybody to know how you live, you know what I mean? So I love the Sylvan for that.
That is awesome. Okay, now let's go over to the Ponce Highland area. So I'm a little new to Atlanta. I haven't even been here a year yet. And I'm learning, I mean, Atlanta is just huge. And there's just so many neighborhoods, so many areas. It's hard to keep up. But this is one that I've been to, and it's very, very, very nice over there. Very sleek, right?
It is, and that's a change from the way it used to be because the Hotel Claremont is a building that has a whole lot of lore and legacy of things that used to go down, and some things still go down when you go all the way down to the basement to the Claremont Lounge, but that's unaffiliated with the actual operations of the hotel. But what they did with that building was really special. They, you know, really did a thoughtful renovation that gave it this classy elegance, but also kept it down to earth. It's kind of like the night is young. The night feels always young when you're in the Claremont. They also have a great rooftop bar upstairs, nice turf on the ground, and you have a great view of the whole city. And if you get antsy, you can walk right to your left and be at Ponce City Market. You can hit the Beltline really quickly and hit all that ATL nightlife right there in Ponce Highland neighborhood.
Wow, that's pretty cool there. And you know, we've been talking about accommodations, and that is our topic this week. But we often only think of hotels when we're talking about accommodations. But some would say Atlanta's culture is pretty accommodating. What would you have to say about that?
Oh, it is. I mean, like, it's the South, so the Southern hospitality is always going to be there. But also, Atlanta just has a way of making people feel like they're at home. So whenever you're at a restaurant, whenever you're at a hotel, whenever you're anywhere where people are welcoming you, we have a style of doing it, but there's always this you belong here, your family to us sort of appeal. So Atlanta just has that inherently.
What do you think makes that happen, though? You know, I lived in the Midwest for a couple of months prior to living here in Chicago, prior to living here in Atlanta. And one of the things that I was so excited to get to the South about is that it just feels like home.
Well, Atlanta is, you got to think about it. Atlanta, you got this tree canopy, you got all these roads and neighborhoods and skyscrapers and buildings, but you can also get to some water pretty quickly. Maybe not the beach, but you can get to Chattahoochee real fast. But I think all of that, the nature mixes in with the urban side. And so there's always a little bit of that, you know, comfortable feeling. It's never too hot. It's never too cold. We get all 4 seasons. And that, I think, gives people a certain type of vibe. And plus, we have, you know, the legacy of that Goody Mob Outkast music to kind of keep you grounded. So no one here is tripping too much, and you can always get in and out of trouble whenever you need to. So that's what I like about Atlanta.
Yeah, you said it best there. All right, Mike Jordan, we appreciate you. Just a reminder, tickets for Look Up Atlanta are on sale right now. General admission is just $10 per person, or you can get a VIP experience ticket. That's for $40. You can find all of that great information for you on our website and on the CBS 46 News app. And if you can't make it, don't worry. We're going to be airing the fireworks show right here on Peachtree TV.